Episode 3 begins in the early months of 1940. After the invasion of Poland, Europe enters what historians call the Phony War, a strange period where Britain and France had declared war on Germany, but for months nothing major happened on the Western Front. Soldiers waited in the trenches, newspapers questioned German intentions, and civilians hoped the war might end before it truly began. But in May 1940, that silence shattered. Germany unleashed Blitzkrieg, a fast, devastating strategy combining tanks, infantry, motorized units, and air support. Instead of attacking through the heavily defended French Maginot Line, Hitler's forces moved through the Ardennes Forest, a region the Allies believed was impossible for large armies to cross. This miscalculation became one of the most costly mistakes of the Allied command. Within days, German panzer divisions broke through French defenses and rushed toward the English Channel, cutting off British and French armies in Belgium. The French high command collapsed into confusion. Communications failed. Orders contradicted each other. Meanwhile, German divisions advanced with shocking speed, capturing key bridges before they could be destroyed. By mid-May, German forces encircled nearly 400,000 Allied troops, trapping them near the coastal town of Dunkirk. It seemed like the end for the British Expeditionary Force and much of France's army. If these soldiers were lost, Britain would stand alone against Germany, defenseless and exposed to invasion. As the German army closed in, the British government launched Operation Dynamo, an emergency evacuation to rescue as many soldiers as possible. But the Royal Navy did not have enough ships, so Britain issued a desperate call to all civilians. Anyone with a boat, fishing vessels, private yachts, riverboats, was asked to cross the dangerous English Channel. These became known as the Little Ships of Dunkirk. From May 26 to June 4, 1940, under constant German air attacks, thousands of British civilians risked their lives to save their trapped soldiers. Smoke-filled the skies as burning oil tanks covered the beaches. Soldiers waited in long lines, sometimes standing for hours in freezing water. German aircraft bombed relentlessly, but British fighter pilots of the RAF fought fiercely to protect the evacuation corridors. Against all expectations, the mission succeeded. Over 338,000 troops were rescued. Winston Churchill called it a miracle of deliverance, and the British public began to believe that they could still fight on. But while Dunkirk was a success, France was collapsing. German troops marched into Paris on June 14, 1940, without facing major resistance, and soon after, the French government fled. Hitler celebrated by taking a victory tour in Paris, formally surrendered to Germany, ending before the Eiffel Tower as the master of Western Europe. With France defeated, Britain now stood alone. Hitler expected them to negotiate peace, but Churchill refused. Standing in the British Parliament, he delivered one of the most powerful speeches of the war. "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender." As episode 3 ends, Europe falls under Nazi control. The map of the continent changes dramatically. Hitler prepares for his next major operation. The air is sold on Britain, and the stage is set for the next phase of the war, the Battle of Britain.